Hello, everybody. So what I'm doing right now, this is actually an example of parallel teaching, and we're going to cover that a little bit later during the course of our workshop today. But I really wanted to take the time to focus on your role in a collaborative classroom because as a teacher, your role is very unique and it's very different from a paraprofessional. So I'm hoping to clarify a couple of those components during this short lecture right now. Part of your roles and part of kind of clarifying that, if you go ahead and look at the left hand side, your role as a teacher really it looks at being able to share lesson plans, ask the opinion of the paraprofessional because sometimes they have information that you may not be very much aware of, or they have different frame of references. You may also ask them for help, ask them to pitch in, share the instruction, share the FaceTime, give them feedback and information in terms of data that you've collected, either formal data or informal. This will definitely strengthen their ability to support the students in the classroom much more successfully. Along with that, part of that role is also giving notes and proactive information in terms of the student dynamics. For example, are they reading below grade level? Are there accommodations that work best for certain students? If there are English language learners, should the paraprofessional kind of have some sort of either an iPad or a tablet nearby that they can pull some pictures really quickly to kind of clarify concepts? All of that information, all of that guidance is kind of your role within that collaborative classroom. And again, this is just one component. And I don't know if you guys are hearing me, but as I'm actually talking to the paraprofessionals about this same very exact thing, but it's more so from the paraprofessional perspective, because I want to make sure that you guys, both groups, get information that is specific to your roles within the classroom. Now, for paraprofessionals, their roles within the collaborative classroom is to take direction under your guidance since you are the credentialed teacher. But, paraprofessionals should be valued, and along those lines, be given a platform to provide suggestions that may be helpful to the creation of lessons for all. Paraprofessionals should, under again your guidance as the credentialed teacher, differentiate lessons based on student learning profiles. They should be able to gather information, collect data, or perhaps give you different ideas depending on how a student performed at during a certain task or assignment. They should modify curriculum as needed and collaborate with specialists. Again, all of this though should be done under your specific guidance. Communication is key. I cannot stress that enough, especially working so closely with someone that may not have all of the training that you do. The only way that you are both going to be effective and have a strong, effective collaborative dynamic within your classroom is to communicate. So I really want to make sure that that is clear. So one of the questions that I'm often asked is the following: is it co-teaching? I'm teaching in the classroom with my paraprofessional, so technically I'm co-teaching, right? Well, let's go ahead and look at the three components that make up co-teaching, okay? And the three components include co-planning, co-instructing, and co-assessing students. However, I'm going to be very honest. Just because you are co-instructing with your paraprofessional, it does not mean that you are truly co-teaching, and here is why. Um, Paraprofessionals are not actually paid to co-plan lessons, and co-planning or planning a lesson in general, if it doesn't happen within the school day, then as credentialed teachers we will, plan our lessons after school or at home, or we will find a way to make that happen because that's kind of part of our contract. Paraprofessionals do not have that. They're not paid for planning after school or after hours, whatever it may be. So right there, that kind of checks off one component of what makes true co-teaching. The next component that they don't really engage in is that co-assessment piece. As a credentialed teacher, we determine what are going to be the best assessments to implement, to gauge information, to glean information that will eventually, and um, help us determine what to teach or what we need to go over again. And so paraprofessionals do not really engage in that component. They may administer assessments again under your guidance, but they do not have the autonomy to pull different assessments and make the determination of which assessment to administer to different students. However, the only component, again, out of the three for co-teaching to truly be co-teaching, is that co-instruction piece. And it seems that co-instruction is the only one of the three that will truly happen. And so again, during our workshop today, we're going to talk about the different co-instruction methods that you and your paraprofessional or paraprofessionals can go ahead and implement within your collaborative classroom to ensure that you are maximizing everyone, all the resources that everyone has to provide. Okay, so again, because there's a lack of co-planning, there's a lack of parity, teachers and paraprofessionals, they do not share the same parity because, teachers usually, they're the credentialed ones, they're the ones on record. Paraprofessionals are there to support, kind of the entire class as a whole. So there's kind of that disparity kind of existing. And then also because we or paraprofessionals do not engage in that co-assessment piece, this is why it's not co-teaching, but it is co-instructing because we're taking one of those three components. And again, communication about the role is paramount to ensure that we are as effective as possible and supporting our students. At the end of the day, it is all about supporting our students. So again, co-instruction, that is what we're going to be focusing on for the second piece of our workshop today. Now I need to figure out how to end this recording.